Oh, you can do that. Okay. Thank you.
All right, do we just start when you're ready?
When you're ready.
Yeah. Hi. So is it Alex?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, Alex. I'm Nick, and I work for Bundoora Community Health. Welcome to the clinic. I hope there wasn't too much traffic coming down Plenty Road. I know it can be a bit crazy at this time. So I just thought we'd start by telling you a bit about what we do at the health centre here, and a bit about my role, so that you know what I can do for you a little bit, and just so you understand the context of what we work in. So we're a community health centre, and we provide case management to people within the community who come to us voluntary. So they ask us for help, and this could be for a range of things. We don't necessarily specialise in one particular area, but we cover a whole range of things that people come to us with, so that you know, we can refer them off if they need it, or we can, if we have the capacity to, we can address it ourselves. So don't feel like you can't talk about anything, because if we're not able to kind of address it and handle things, we'll be able to help you with the referrals and get you other supports that you may need today. So just before we start, I thought I'd just go through confidentiality quickly. So while we're in this space, everything that is said between us is confidential. So don't feel like you can't tell me anything. The only time where confidentiality might be broken is if there's something that maybe that I feel maybe you know you may be there may be harm for you, or there may be harm for others. I might have to go and report that to a supervisor or pass that on. But that's the only time that would ever happen. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Awesome. So I thought maybe we just start with a bit of background information, and maybe just why you came to us today.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah. So the reason I came here today is because my son Toby, he's about 2 years old, and I'm sort of observing that he's not really meeting his milestones.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like watching other kids play with him, and he's sort of just not at that level at the moment.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to come see you about that.
So could you maybe just elaborate that on it more? Tell me a bit more. What sort of things are concerning you about Toby, and how old is Toby? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
Yeah, no, he's 2 years old.
2 years old, yeah.
And we go to playgroup together.
Yeah.
So we do sort of like sing-alongs there. Most of the kids can sing almost the whole song.
Yeah.
And he's struggling a little bit. Like he's sort of, I can tell he's enthused by it, but he just can't sing along very well. We also do some games, and you know, we throw some balls and stuff like that, and his physical skills and fine motor skills are just not at that level as well. Yeah,
well, it sounds like you're a bit worried, and that's fair enough. Some parents get a bit worried about development, and it can be very hard comparing your child to other children as well. That can be a real stress. Could you maybe tell me a bit more about yourself, about what you do for a living, or do you have a partner or anything like that?
No, I'm just by myself at the moment, but his father's still in the picture.
Yeah.
He sees his father every second weekend.
Yeah.
But I also have a part-time job. I work 9 till 3, Monday to Friday, and I work at a chemist.
Yeah.
And Toby goes to daycare 3 days a week, and the 2 other days he's with his grandmother, my mother.
That sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. It sounds like that's a really busy schedule to keep up with. I guess how are you coping with keeping up with that in terms of having time for Toby and managing work and that balance? How's that going?
Yeah, I mean, work is pretty busy. I'm the only pharmacist there, so often my part-time hours are 9 till 3, but often I can get called in late. So I feel like I don't really have a lot of time for Toby at the moment.
Yeah.
I get home and I have to cook dinner and pick him up, and I'm struggling a little bit with handling him as well as handling my.
So it sounds like there's a bit of maybe a combination of things there. So there's obviously maybe a few things you're worried about Toby, and it sounds like it's really hard for you to find time for Toby and to kind of really invest into that time with him, and that's totally fair enough. It can be really hard.
Yeah.
Being a parent, let alone obviously a single parent. In terms of looking into the future, I guess looking at a perfect scenario, what would that look like for you? So what would, if everything, all the issues were sort of put aside, what is something that you would love to see for your future?
Yeah. So ideally I'd probably like to cut back on my hours a little bit.
Yeah.
Have some time for Toby, maybe, giving him more attention might help with his milestones a little bit.
Yeah.
Ideally, I currently have deferred my uni degree.
Yeah.
So I would really like to go back and do that as well.
Yeah. What are you studying?
And
what are you what's your course that you're doing at the moment?
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy? Nice.
Yeah. So I'm a student at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you want to be a pharmacist?
Yeah.
Nice. Really, that's awesome. So when we look into the future, is there anything that is there anything that you're doing now that can help you to get there? So what are sort of some things that you have right now that are helping you kind of manage these things? You talked about earlier, just going back a little bit, you talked about that your mother looks after Toby 2 days a week. Is there any other sort of things that you have right now that you feel like, this is something that's really getting me through, and it's something that I really do well?
Yeah. Well, she's definitely a major help.
Yeah.
With Toby and I. Occasionally she'll cook me dinner and I can freeze that, which helps with my time management a lot. Other than that,
it's okay. It's alright to have a think. It's
I don't know what else really gets me through. Sorry.
That's alright. Do you feel like there's any personal strengths that you bring? Because you obviously are a single mother, and that comes with a lot of strength and a lot of challenges, but it also brings a lot of sort of positive things.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you reflect on that?
Yeah, I feel like I try my hardest to push my needs aside for Toby.
Yeah.
Like I try and go to playgroup with him, but I really do understand that I need to still find that balance.
Yeah. And do you feel like being a single mother is a strength? Is that a strength for you?
Yeah. I feel like I'm coping fairly well, but definitely need some.
Yeah, and it can be really a bit of a balancing act, finding that balance between obviously, like we talked about a bit earlier, spending time with Toby and having time for other things. I'm just going to jump back a second, if that's okay with you. I was just wondering, what do you do for yourself? So what are some things that you do for yourself to kind of have some you time? Is there anything that you do for yourself? Because it sounds like you've got a lot on your plate, and that can really be really stressful. So I was just wondering, maybe what are some things that you do to look after yourself?
I enjoy going for walks. I have my next door neighbour. She has a child around the same age, and we like to go for walks together with the two kids. So we sort of have a bit of a mother's group going on at the moment, which is quite helpful. We go out for coffee sometimes, and that helps, me socialise with Toby a bit more as well.
Awesome. So you've got your mother's group, so that's a bit of a support group for you. Do you have any other sort of things that help you day to day? So you've got your mother, obviously, it sounds like, and you've got your group there that supports you. Is there any other sort of things that you go to help you if you have any issues or anything that pops up?
If something comes up that my mother can't do, Toby's father, he's actually really quite helpful as well. He will jump to any opportunity to sort of pick him up from school and spend a bit more time with him. Although he's quite busy as well. He helps me out quite a bit, which is good. The play group is quite good. I've sort of shared my concerns a little bit with them, and they suggested to me to come to you and
Yeah.
speak about his milestones a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're sort of looking out for me as well, and I feel
Yeah.
quite supported. Still going, even though I feel a little bit embarrassed. They're still supporting me with Toby and
Yeah.
his milestones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good. That sounds really good that you've asked for help and you've come for support. That's really something really positive, encouraging to see. Why don't we just go back to Toby for a little bit and talk about those milestones. So we talked a bit about, I asked earlier about what things you're a bit concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess looking at the future again, but for Toby, what's your hope for Toby for the future? So as a parent, we want our children to have a really good future. What does that look like for Toby in your eyes?
Yeah. So I understand his milestones are a little bit delayed, but
Yeah.
I don't want him to be the perfect child. That's never going to happen. So I just want him to not be held back in life in the future. I just want to look at his milestones earlier on, so maybe later in life he's not affected as much at high school, or I don't want him to get bullied. But at the moment,
So
I just want him to.
Yeah, sorry, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
that's okay.
at the moment, I just want him to have a good future and
Yeah.
just looking out for him in that way.
Yeah. So in terms of the concerns with his milestones, is other milestones the concern, or are you more worried about the future for Toby? So sorry, I'll rephrase the question.
That's all right.
I get a bit tongue twisted.
Yeah, that's okay.
So is the concern Toby's development, or right now, or are you a bit worried about how his development's going to affect his future?
Yeah, it's more the future picture.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, he's only a child, so he doesn't exactly know that his milestones are holding him back a little bit. But from my perspective, I can see that, and I'm just concerned about his future. Yeah.
And when we look at milestones, it's it can be really normal for children to be behind on their milestones, and it's something that a lot of children go through. It's not something that it doesn't always mean that in the future that they're going to be delayed or they're going to have issues. Sometimes a lot of children experience developmental milestones and they still actually have a really bright future. So it's a valid concern to feel like I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future because his milestones aren't being met. But a lot of children actually can catch up in the future, which is something that is really encouraging. And a lot of children are kind of late bloomers where they might not be meeting milestones, but it can really jump out quickly and they can really kind of meet them in a short period of time. Yeah. So I just want to reassure you that it's okay that he's not meeting those milestones at the moment, but there's every chance that he'll meet them in the future and that he will be able to meet them.
Yeah, that's really reassuring.
Yeah. So from today's session, what are some sort of things that you'd like to start looking at? What are some things do you think would help you and Toby moving forward? Because I've got some suggestions obviously that I can make, but I want to know what you feel, how we can help you. What would you like?
Yeah, maybe some sort of workshop or something to further help me assist in maybe developing his social skills. Maybe this play group's not enough. Maybe maybe something that we can do together. I'm really enjoying the play group, so something like that. That we can do another day a week. Would be good.
Awesome. So maybe something like some speech therapy would be something that could help Toby, and I know within speech therapy a lot of clinics have play groups that with other young people, other children, who may be struggling with that sort of thing. So maybe looking forward we could look at a referral to a speech therapist to help Toby and maybe get him into a play group with a therapist who could really help him with those first steps. Is that something that would maybe interest you? Yeah.
I feel like his speech is probably the biggest milestone that I'm concerned about. So we can do that, and we can maybe look at next session, we can fill out some forms for a referral for that. And that will really help him with that development, and we'll start to address some of those things that you may be concerned about. The other thing would be something like an OT, an occupational therapist. So they help with things like social skills and the
the day-to-day things. So they can really start to look at some of Toby's things that day-to-day he might not be doing, and we can start to maybe address those. And I know that occupational therapists can be really helpful in understanding where a child is at and looking at what they need to, and they'll be able to support you with that as well, and with the speech therapist as well. They'll both be able to give you tips and things to bring home that you can do with Toby. So not only is he getting help from them in their sessions and in the play groups, but you can also bring that home and do that with Toby yourself. Does that sound like something that would interest you?
With all of that.
Awesome. So we'll look at, for next session, we'll fill out those forms and we'll get those referrals off so we can get him into those as quickly as possible. Was there anything from looking at the balance of being a single mother and having to do so many things at once? I was wondering what you thought about maybe putting some supports in place just to help you on a week-to-week basis in terms of giving you some time maybe, or just getting some extra help around the house. Is that something that would maybe interest you?
Yeah, I mean, now that you say that, I probably should.
You're up to 16 minutes.
Okay, I'll finish up.
I'll just wrap that. Yeah. I should probably talk to my boss about cutting back my hours.
Yeah.
I realise now that I need more time with Toby.
Awesome. So we'll get that. We'll have a look for some things next session. And we'll do those referrals and we'll come back next session. That's all the time we've got for today.
No worries.
Thank you for coming in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Well done.